There's some sort of cold draft. Come on. I'm feeling you. Can you appear to me? Come. Where do you want me to come to? Did your death happen directly below where we are now? Flash for yes. Whoa.
A few weeks ago, I got a message on Instagram from a follower called Martin, who really recommends the Galleries of Justice. Now, he's from Nottingham himself. He knows this place really well, and he's confirmed that it is very hot for paranormal activity. So I decided to go to the Galleries of Justice in Nottingham.
A city known for one infamous figure, Robin Hood. Whilst his existence is debated, if there really was a sheriff of Nottingham, he would have been based here. There has been a court on this site since 1375, set up by local sheriffs to collect taxes, with the first written account of a prison being in 1449, although the building has been built up over the years. It's also a myth that Nottingham's most famous resident would also have been here at some point, providing the stories about Robin Hood are based on a real person. Trials were held in the main courtroom, with imprisonment to those found guilty directly below. Public executions would take place on gallows constructed by the steps of the main entrance. Overall, 123 prisoners are recorded as being executed at this building. And they were notorious. William Savile was executed here on the 8th of August 1844 for killing his wife and 3 children. A known alcoholic, he would go missing for days, leaving his kids to live in poverty and rely on food given to them by their neighbours, and even had his own family put into the workhouse so he could start an affair with a younger woman. This charmer's downfall came when he was witnessed slitting the throats of his young family in nearby woodland. His execution proved popular, with crowds filling the narrow streets in the hours before he was led out. 12 people would die during a crowd crush. Many people still believe that William Savile is still here. So it's no surprise that this building has so much paranormal activity. The main courtroom was last used in the 1980s and was where life-changing sentences would be handed down. Fear and raw emotion have filled these walls for centuries, not to mention a near tragedy in 1724 when the floor in this room collapsed during a trial, sending people in the seats flying down into the cells below, badly injuring one man. Dark shadows walking along the top of the room, horrible emotions, groans, and even a ghost believed to be a former judge, Justice Black, have all been reported here. Directly below are the cells, plagued with poltergeist activity. These cell doors have been known to slam shut, most notoriously during a night for the Nottingham Civic Society. They were allowed to spend the night here on a ghost hunt, and one woman was trapped in the condemned man's cell when something was pushing the door closed onto her. Despite being witnessed by a group of terrified friends, it was only when the night security man arrived did the door release, and the woman was left shaking inside an icy cold cell. This is the entrance where prisoners would walk to the gallows. It is said a Victorian woman and a World War I soldier haunt this area. The exercise yard was where prisoners were allowed out of their cells. It was also where executed prisoners were buried below the concrete. Ghostly shadows are reported here, and residents on the cliff road overlooking the building regularly see people moving around at night. The last prisoner to be buried here was Richard Parker. 10,000 people turned up to watch him die in 1864 in front of this building. His body is still down here. Nottingham is known as the City of Caves. There are over 800 caves tunnelled into the sandstone below the streets, and it's believed that some have been here since at least Anglo-Saxon times. People have lived in them, used them for storage and shelter during wars, and of course, imprisonment. It's no surprise that there is a cave below the Galleries of Justice, believed to be an oubliette, a type of dungeon where people were left to die. This was where the most paranormal activity gets reported. One man who gets up close in people's personal space, a figure with a candle, and stones being thrown are regularly experienced here. I start my investigation at the top and work my way down, beginning with the courtroom, where hundreds of people were told they would die. I'm in a building, and in particular a room in that building that changed lives, ended lives. Decisions made in this very room saw the fate of many, many prisoners, from public execution, imprisonment, deportation to the colonies. The feeling in this very courtroom would be absolutely extreme. I'm just going to have a little wander around and show you inside the old Shire court here in Nottingham. As you can see, this court was last used in the 1980s. You can see just up there the time says 11:15. No, that's not the time it is now. That's the time when the last ever court case was completed, and this place was essentially unused again. We've got several ghost stories that are linked to this very particular room. I'm just going through here. I'm going to show you exactly where the judge would have sat, and this is the judge's seat, which is supposedly haunted. People do see a figure sitting on there. Why not sit on it? Ooh, I feel a bit wrong sitting in here. And there's the courtroom. Let me just illuminate it slightly more. People would have been... In fact, I must admit, I'm not a... What's that at the back? Is that a person? Oh no, it's part of the bench. I thought that over there was a person. It's not. Whew, my heart rate was going there. Now, I'm not a expert in law. I don't know where people would sit, where the jury would sit. I think the jury sit to the side, possibly over this side. And of course, the defendant would sit straight ahead, I believe. And witnesses would come and stand in the witness box just here. And obviously the judge would sit and would have his gavel, his papers, ink quill, and would listen to the case. And I'm just going to lean forward, that'd be good etiquette, just so I can rest my elbows on here and say that all sorts of people were tried in this very courtroom, from murderers, rapists, rioters, to just people who hadn't complied with the law at the time. We mentioned that very famous incident where the courtroom collapsed. That did happen. It was over to this right-hand side here. It just gave away and people fell into the cells where it's directly below us. One man badly injuring his leg to the bone. The judge thought there was an assassination attempt because he heard the wood snapping and thought it was a pistol going off. What about the hauntings in this room? Well, people do see shadowy figures at the top, up there, and across there. Think about how many lives have changed in this room. People who've been found guilty deported from this country to Australia, to one of the colonies, where they would have sat on a ship that would have taken about, well, months and months to arrive. 8 months at sea. And then, of course, you weren't put on the neighbouring ship that was just docked here. You would have to wait until a ship was filled up, and then you would get on it. You could take up to 2 years to get to Australia. And then, of course, if you wanted to come back after you'd served your time, you had to do that journey again. Many people on board that ship didn't make it. They died of disease, starvation, hunger. If that was the case, they were just thrown overboard. Is there any spirits in this room? Come forward. Am I sitting in your seat? Come on. Make a tap. I'm going to do a bang on this. You can do the same back. Can you copy me? Why are we going out of focus? We can hear people running around outside. It's Saturday night here in Nottingham. This building has got such a reputation now. I've got to get in here and get some content for you in here tonight. I want to draw your attention to this light anomaly that gets picked up on a couple of occasions in the main courtroom. I do not believe this to be any type of flying insect or dust, but it does seem to move at strange angles. Like this time, it moves across, and then when it next appears, it is at a completely different height. People do see shadowy figures at the top, up there, and across there. About, well, months and months to arrive. 8 months at sea. And then one possible explanation for this is that it could be an interference of the IR lights from this infrared security camera sat pointing directly towards me. Is this causing some kind of lens flare on my infrared camera? This CCTV camera is also recording in night vision, so when I'm looking at this through night vision, it creates the illusion of a bright light pointing straight into my camera. That is one explanation. This is what it feels like to be a judge. It's quite a powerful position to be in. Having that gavel. Imagine ending someone's life. This seat. Someone would have been sat in this seat who handed down a sentence, essentially, to end someone's life. I find you guilty of murder, and you will be hanged by the neck until dead. Just my elbows, I think, on the table. Can you imagine it, though? The people who sat stood in dread when that came over them. Let's get the voice bank going again. Were you sentenced in here? How did it feel to be found guilty? Were you the judge? Can you talk to me? Can you give me your name? I need some sense. Who are you? Come on. Talk to me, please. Give me your name. How many are you? How many people are there? I don't think we're getting any sense coming through that, to be honest. I just can't imagine this room being full of people. And of course you would have these are people don't realise this about court cases. They are public events. You can still go to them now. Even in 2021 or 2022, whenever you're watching this, you can still go in the UK to a court case and watch in the public gallery. They are public events. It's like going to the cinema, essentially. Some IR light to the back of the room. Yeah, so if you're ever interested in going along, do it. I did it when I did a journalism course at uni. We got to go to Crown Court and a Magistrates Court. You can just walk straight in. You can just go and watch. Some of them are interesting, some of them are boring. But I encourage you to do it if you're interested. Get a good case. Get a nice juicy one. As we hear it sounds like a moped or a motorbike going past the building. Who's the person who likes to walk across the back of the room? People see a shadow. I'm going in and out of focus like crazy. Like, what is going on? What is going on? Were you found guilty, but you weren't really guilty? You were accused of a crime, but it wasn't really you that did it. You didn't do it. So this is where you would face the judge. This door here. You would close and you would face the judge. He would ask you questions about whatever you were accused of doing, and you could sit here and deny it, or maybe you just wanted to confess. And of course, don't forget, if you were found guilty of something and you were going to be executed, you might as well confess to more, because you would have believed that when you got to the gates of heaven, if you were religious, and most people were, you'd be tried again. You might as well get it all off your chest now. If you had 2 or 3 bodies to your name, don't just get sent down for one. Admit to the others. And then when you get up to heaven, you've already been found guilty. How many people stood on this exact bit of floor and looked straight over there at the judge when he sentenced you down? And then you would have gone and you would have been led away down here, down to the cells. As we hear some traffic outside, this is where you would go. I don't know what's through these doors, but then you would be led through here. Still going. And darkness, obviously they wouldn't have been in complete darkness when they were led down here. And down here to the actual cells. It's a horrible walk, isn't it? Horrible walk. Come on, spirit. Is anyone down here with me? Make yourself aware, make yourself known, so that I'm aware of you. This building comes with such a reputation. Let's go back into the courtroom. I spent about another half an hour in the courtroom trying to record some EVPs and to see what kind of activity I could pick up, but I got nothing. However, that was about to change as I went lower down into the building. I'm in the cells directly below the main court here at the Galleries of Justice, or the National Justice Museum in Nottingham. These cells are where people will be brought down pretty much after the verdict was given out, guilty. Obviously, if they were not guilty, they wouldn't be brought down. These were holding cells as well. So we're going to try. Is there a person stood down there? Hello? Let me just put that eye on. It looks like there's someone stood behind me there. Just at the end. Focus, come on, focus. There we go. Just on the left. Maybe not. Well, it looked like someone was standing down there, but it's not. But these are the cells where we're going to go into and have a little look around. What kind of residual energy is down here? I'm going to just turn that light down a little bit. My name is Rob. I'm just coming down here with this little box in my hand to talk to you. See if we can get some sort of two-way going. I'd love to see if there's anybody in this little network of tunnels below the Shire Court, as you would have referred to it in Nottingham. People have heard doors banging. Let's see if we can get some of that going tonight. I'm going to stand at the very end and look down. Is there any spirits down here tonight? In the cells? The Galleries of Justice that would like to come forward? Please do so. I've introduced myself. I'm Rob. Is there any spirits down here tonight? In the cells? As I ask if there's any spirits wanting to come forward, this ball of light seems to travel from one of the cells down to my left-hand side. I am ruling this out as being a lens flare because of its movement in comparison to the movement of the camera. Also, it does not appear to be any kind of flying insect or bug. Can you bang in one of the cells? Can you bang one of the doors? Or could you even appear to me in a shadow figure, a mist, a light anomaly? I hate using the infrared on full beam because it makes the illusion that this place is completely illuminated, but it's not. If I cover the IR light, you see that we go into a little bit more darkness, and of course there's an IR light on the front of the camera on here as well. We are pretty much, apart from that little light up there, that's from I think that's a fire exit sort of light type thing, health and safety, and that is the light from another security camera. So it's just a red IR light to me, but you see it as a bright light through night vision. What is through here? So these are several cells that have been cut through as part of the museum, but I imagine these were once individual cells where people were kept. This feels like you could just imagine people banging on these doors. And I've never been locked up in a prison before, never been locked up, never been in a real police station, but I imagine drunks down here and people who were banging on doors, creating a bit of a commotion. Can you slam one of these doors shut? I'm just using the infrared to see where I'm going. And obviously they wouldn't have had a television screen in their cell for two reasons. One, they wouldn't have been invented, and two, that's just part of the museum. They put little displays on during the daytime for visitors. Original artefacts, part of the Galleries of Justice Museum. There you go. If you ever come down here to Nottingham, there is various displays on that you could come and see. Now I'd imagine as well these rooms, these walls would have seen all sorts of people's energies between them, people who would have had all sorts of a range of emotions, people waiting down here to find out what would happen when they were taken up to have a verdict. And it's also down here that there was the story of the entity that is said to have forced a lady into a cell and wouldn't open the door. It's hard to believe that that was around here somewhere. One of these doors, I think there's a door on the other place. I'm trying to see where I'm going. So a step. One of these door cells slammed shut and kept a lady trapped. Can you do that? Or do you just do that to women? Come on. I want some activity down here tonight. That's leading back up towards the courtroom. You can hear clicking and clanking, that's from the restaurant. Just to the other side of there. We'll ignore that. Oh, this must be the condemned man's. This must be the condemned man's cell. This is it. This is it. This is the cell door that shut and would not release a lady, and I've gone freezing cold. But I think that could be a window that's cracked open. I feel really cold standing here. And when they did, when a security guard came, there was apparently 6 or 7 people had to force this door open, and there was nothing. It doesn't lock. It's not got an actual physical lock, and there's a draft just brushed straight past me. I think it's got to be a door open. There's some sort of cold draft. Come on. I'm feeling you. Look at this. I'm getting goosebumps. It's gotta be a cold. This is the cell. You've got me. I'm vulnerable. I know you've done this to women in here, but I'm gonna ask you to slam that door and lock me in. Do it. Come on. You only do it to women, don't you? It's freezing in here. That's got to be a draft coming from... It's glass. There's no hole in it. I can hear cutlery moving around from the restaurant. Come on. Do it to a man. Do it to a man. Who are you? Do you only do it to women? Come on. Okay. I'm using a spirit box. It has a voice bank of many thousand phonetical sounds. Use those sounds to put together words and answer my question. Start off, first of all, by giving me your name. Ewan. Are you Ewan? Yes or no? Yes or no? You're Ewan. Okay. Did you die here? Were you a criminal? Did you get found guilty? Can you tell me which century you died in? Was it the 19th? 18th? 17th? Okay. What was your crime that you were guilty of? I'm here to be friendly with you. People spent their final night on earth in this very cell. This is the condemned man's cell. People would have spent their final night on earth. And then, like in Derby jail, would have found out that in the morning they would be taken to the gallows and executed. So I'm going to ask you now, did you sleep in this cell before your life ended? Can you appear to me? Come. Where do you want me to come to? Where are you calling me to? How many people are with you? How many's there? Did you say 2? 3? Come on. I want to know your name. Were you innocent? Which door were you behind? Is there children with you? Are you a male? Am I close to you? Draw me to where you are. Do I need to go this way? Did you do the damage to this door? Have you graffitied it all? I know in Derby Jail they've got graffiti on the condemned man's cell door, marking their last night on earth. Let's have a look. It feels so cold in this pot. I don't even know if these are the original doors that were on this exact cell. Turn that off so we can concentrate a little bit. And maybe bring the SLS camera down. Okay, we've got the SLS camera out. I'm using the torch just to see if we can see anything with natural light. And of course, here's SLS. So a little walk down. Let's see if we can see anybody in any of the cells. Can you show yourself? Can you appear to me? Is anybody in here? I'm going to be walking down the corridor. If you can, and you wish to show yourself to me, you can do that. Stand in front of me. Oh, that was my stomach. Just growling a little bit there. Can you show yourself? Oh. Hello. Who are you? Were you talking to me before? Wave to me. Who are you?
So I pick up a cold spot
right outside a cell door. Then the SLS camera picks up a stick figure and I get EVPs coming through on the phonetic sound bank. I go scientific and get out the thermal imaging camera, and yes, I pick up a cold heat signature right outside the exact same cell. Yet when you go in the cell itself, the temperature goes back up by 2 degrees. This cold spot is right outside the cell door.
Oh wow, I'm getting a cold spot. It's coming up as blue, and it is right in front of where I said I felt cold, outside of the condemned man's cell, which is just in front of me.
I head down to the cave that was once used as a dungeon below the cells of the Galleries of Justice. This is said to be the most haunted part of the building and is said to have a sinister figure that gets up very close into people's personal spaces and has even attacked people by throwing stones at them.
Now you know that Nottingham is built on... What's this, the door behind me closing? It's built on caves. It was known as the City of the Caves. And of course, the prison has taken advantage of having caves down here. We are in these caves now. Just have a look. This is an area of the galleries that experiences a lot of poltergeist activity, and you'll see why in a second. So we're now about 20 metres below street level, and we're going to go into a dungeon that has been dug into sandstone. Now if you know anything about the stone tape theory, you know sandstone. Yeah. Sandstone is a stone that people believe can harbour energy. So we're just going to go in here, and we believe that down below this metal bridge is an oubliette. So I'm just going to go through, minding my head, into the dungeon. Nottingham, the City of Caves. Now I will give you a heads up, in this section there is a dummy. I'll show you where he is. He is over here. This is the dummy, or the mannequin I should say. So if you do see, alright, he is not real. Let's just get a little bit more light in here. There we go. I'm going to ask for any spirits below the Galleries of Justice. I know that people say there's a dark figure that likes to invade people's personal space. He is seen in this particular cave. Come forward. I'm summoning you. I'm asking you to come forward. There's also rumours, or a bit of a legend, that there's an undiscovered body down here as well. Again, I can't fact check that or verify it, but if so, it would be in the oubliette, which means the place to forget. They would just dump bodies down there. Not bodies. Bodies are what you get when you're dead. They would put people down there and let them to die. Probably through starvation.
Is there any spirits with me? Can you come forward? This is an early prison before the main cells upstairs were constructed. I'm going to take a seat. Put my bag down. Please come and talk to me. I'm here to listen to you. Please come and talk to me. I'm here to listen to you. I just want to hear your story and hear who you are and why you're down here. I'm guessing you were one of the early prisoners. If you were here, you're not one of the recent ones. If you can make a tap, make a bang, that would be amazing. People describe seeing you as a dark figure, a black mass rather, not mast. I'm sure there's more to you than that. Can you come and appear to me? Show yourself to me. You make any tap or bang. It's freezing cold in here. You've probably noticed I've hoodied up. I take a K2 EMF meter and place it directly above the oubliette, where it's possible there could still be bodies still down there. Hopefully we don't lose it. It won't fall. We do have a cable. I'm just concerned that we do have an electrical cable that is just to the left there. I just want to double check. You can see there, that cable does not set off the EMF meter. Oh, there we go. There it does. So there we can see when I put it next to this box, particularly the middle section, and then obviously as you get further down, back up. But over here, by the oubliette, we are not interfering with anything. Spirit, if that was you from the oubliette, put your energy through it. Go on. Yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you. Now, if that was an electrical current coming from that wire, it would be constant, like what I demonstrated with this device on the wall. You would constantly see it coming through the box. I'm not using anything that's got a mobile phone signal. That's on airplane mode. The camera doesn't give off the signal. We've proved that before in previous videos. Did you die down here? Come forward. Come forward. I'm zoomed in. Did you die? Please light up the box. Put your energy through it. Come on. Come on. Did you die directly below? Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm zooming out to show you that I'm nowhere near it. Spirit, if that was you, please do that again. Light up. Go and put your energy through. Come on. Light it up. Did you die here? Please confirm it by lighting up some more lights. Come on. Put your energy in it. Come on. Come on. Skeptics out there will say that it's just some sort of you've got an electrical wire down there, but electrical wires, nothing's been switched on or off, so it should in theory be a constant flicker of light. Come on, do it again for me. Can you do it again? I just want it one more time, just to confirm that there's someone communicating with me. Or would you rather we did some yes or no answers? This reminds me of the schooner in Almouth that we did in the back end of 2020. We got some brilliant communication through this device, and also the Ripon Workhouse as well at the early part of 2020 before COVID. That one was got some really good stuff coming through on that. Spirit actually hasn't flickered since. Now there's obviously a light down there, you can see it, but like I said, that light's on constant. Spirit, I'm zoomed in, so I'm nowhere near the device. Were you thrown down here while you were still alive? Wow. Wow. What I'm going to say is, if the answer is yes, light up the box. Were you executed here at the prison? Were you executed in the gallows with a noose around your neck? Did you die naturally? Wow. Yes, thank you. Did your death occur? Yes, thank you. Did your death happen directly below where we are now? Flash for yes. Whoa. Whoa. We get some brilliant responses from this thing. I wish this wire wasn't there. I wish there wasn't a light there. Let's ask it a couple more questions. Are you female? You're female, light the box up. Are you male? Are you male or female? Okay, female, male. Are you from Nottingham, the city of Nottingham? Do you live near Nottingham? Okay. What do we ask? What should we ask? Which century? I'm going to list some centuries. And when I tell you the century, please tell me if that's the when you died so we can narrow it down. Did you die in the 21st century? Should hope it didn't flicker. The 20th century. The 19th century. The 18th century. The 17th century. It did it before I said it. The 17th century. It did it before I finished the word, so I don't know if that counts. Yeah. Oh, thank you. I feel emotional because I know that I think the way you've gone is a horrible way. It's inhumane. I don't know what you did. Did you murder anybody? Did you rape anybody? Or should I say, were you accused of murdering somebody? Were you accused of rape? So obviously they're going to say no, aren't they? Oh. Was it a crime that would be a bit silly today to send someone to death? Yeah. Okay. Did you riot? Did you hurt anybody? Did you steal anything? Wow. Wow. I'm going to ask just one more time, because you can say I'm nowhere near the thing. I'm going to ask you several questions. If they are correct, flash. So you're a male, and you were from the 17th century, or that's when you died. You were accused of theft, and you died directly below where this metal grate goes over, and what we oubliette. Thank you. Do you intend to hurt me? Are you a bad person? Are you a good person? There'll be people who will think that I'm using some sort of device that can... I mean, my camera, I can get... I'm taking the zoom out to show you how close I can really get. And we're not setting it off. It's not the camera. My mobile phone, which I'm using for a torch, is on airplane mode. And as you can see, isn't setting it off. These things happen. These things keep happening. We get them on investigations, and in my opinion, this is a fantastic way of spirit communication. Can you appear to me? Would you be able to maybe come to the next level with your energy and manifest into a figure? Maybe a shadow? Or maybe you can make a noise for me, like a physical noise that I could hear. Spirit, are you still with me? Oh, have we lost you? Please come forward. Bring your energy forward to the grey box again. Are you still with me? I think you've gone, haven't you? I think you've gone. Thank you so much for coming forward. I'm going to try and pick you up without dropping you down that grate, because that would be a disaster. Okay, let me just find my way. So I know there's a step here somewhere. Get the torch on again. I need to get my breath back after that. That was intense and emotional. I genuinely feel I was talking to a nice person. I do not see that person as being a horrible criminal. Thank you. I'm going to just speak to you before I leave this cave and just say thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me. It means a lot when you do that, because I just want to come and hear your story. And I don't know where your energy is, whether you're down there or up here or in the air. But thank you, bless you, and may you rest in peace. Thank you. I certainly didn't feel any hostilities from the cave here at the Galleries of Justice. A part of this museum does have a display section for the narrow marsh area, once a slum said to be the worst for poverty in the entire British Empire. Crime was really high here, so many of these criminals would have gone through the Shire court system. These were people who had absolutely nothing, and may have been turning to a life of crime simply from the good of their heart to feed their families. Was it possible that I was talking to someone who'd literally been caught up in a life of petty crime, but with the intention of doing something good? It's something that I was thinking about on the way home. Don't forget to please like and subscribe to the Dead Air channel. We've got plenty of investigations already up there, so have a little browse around.